Wildlife management is the manipulation of populations or habitat to achieve a goal. The goals of wildlife management are to rescue a species, restore a habitat, protect existing populations and resources, along with many others. The human population has already caused a lot of damage to Earth's natural processes. Management is now needed to try and reverse as much damage as we can before it is too late. There are three main types of wildlife management, which are preservation, conservation, and restoration. Preservation is protecting wildlife and wildlife habitat from any type of use, while conservation is the proper and sustainable use of wildlife or wildlife habitat. Restoration aims to return ecosystem processes back to their historical norm. Conservation, preservation, and restoration of wildlife can follow inactive management plans or active management plans. Inactive management means there is no direct manipulation of wildlife populations. The populations may need no immediate mitigation, or there may be a lack of information needed to pursue a management decision. Active management is when actions are taken that directly influence a population. Active management can include a wide variety of plans, including habitat restoration and improvement, breeding programs, species reintroduction, predator control, or population control. The most recognizable form of inactive management is the use of preservation land to protect all species within the boundaries. National wilderness areas such as Pelican Island, Yosemite, and Joshua Tree are highly publicized preservation areas that attract millions of visitors each year. One form of active management is when species are reintroduced to an area where they have previously been extirpated from. In 2015, bighorn sheep were relocated from Inyo National Forest and the Sequoia National Park to Yosemite National Park after being absent for more than 100 years. One of the most popular forms of active management is sustainable harvest. Sustainable harvest provides both a recreational sport for participants and population mitigation.
Species that have and maintain stable populations can be continuously harvested through time, like wild turkeys. Other species, such as white-tailed deer, have increasingly high populations in urban areas that can be above an ecological or cultural carrying capacity. With the harvest of such species providing ecological and economic benefits to the state and federal agencies, this method can be sustained over time. However, it is critical that we do not harvest more than the maximum sustainable yield.
Sustainable harvest is only one example of the impact humans have on wildlife. Sustainable wildlife management involves interacting with wildlife in a way that is beneficial to both the humans and animals involved. There are many wildlife dependent activities, like hunting and fishing, that are reliant on the presence of wildlife. Wildlife non dependent activities, like hiking and camping, are enhanced with the presence of wildlife. The way in which the public interacts with wildlife will affect their views on the importance of its management and conservation. The public is more likely to advocate for a species they have personal attachment to, like dogs or cats, versus a species that is not always positively viewed, like coyotes or squirrels. One way to boost the public's interest in wildlife is to encourage interactions with nature. Conservation areas and wildlife refuge are great ways to support the public's interaction with wildlife. With a positive outlook on wildlife interaction, the public can be better informed when making management decisions on behalf of wildlife species. Without these personal connections, the public is more likely to manage wildlife unsustainably.
All of these aspects are needed to maintain healthy ecosystems that will allow wildlife to flourish. Being able to do this in a sustainable way will better incorporate the human need for wildlife resources. Sustainable wildlife management is the management of wildlife species to sustain their populations and habitat over time, taking into account the socioeconomic needs of human populations. Wildlife is a vital resource that provides us with food, income, recreation, and a host of other functions, and it can continue to do so as long as proper management efforts are followed and a balance between preservation and human use is reached. If we continue to take carelessly, however, wildlife diversity will continue to decline, and as a result, we will lose the source of many of the benefits we are able to take advantage of.